Ladies and gentlemen, silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is not the absence of words, but the presence of understanding. The power of silence lies not in what it lacks, but in what it protects, preserves, and prevents. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 situations where silence is not only the right response, but also the most powerful action you can take. Silence during moments of anger is one of the most challenging disciplines to master, but also one of the most powerful. Anger, by its very nature, is explosive. It blinds the mind, clouds judgment, and often drives us to act impulsively. When we are angry, our words are rarely guided by wisdom or consideration. Instead, they tend to be fueled by raw emotion. These words can pierce like arrows, leaving wounds in others that are not easily healed and causing damage to relationships, opportunities, and reputations. The power of silence in these moments lies in its ability to act as a buffer, a pause that creates space between emotion and action. Anger has a way of demanding immediate expression. It pushes us to respond in the heat of the moment, to lash out, to defend ourselves, or to attack what we perceive as a threat. But the problem with acting out of anger is that it often leads to regrettable outcomes. How many times have we spoken words in anger only to wish we could take them back? Words spoken in haste often carry a weight far greater than intended. They create rifts where there were none, escalate conflicts unnecessarily, and sometimes end relationships that were otherwise valuable. Once spoken, words cannot be undone, and their impact can last far longer than the moment of anger that produced them. On the other hand, is a tool for self-control. It allows us to pause, to reflect, and to evaluate the situation before responding. This pause does not mean suppressing anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It means taking a moment to understand it. What has triggered the anger? Is it justified? Is it being amplified by other emotions such as fear, insecurity, or frustration? These are the questions we can only answer when we are silent. The pause gives us the opportunity to assess the root cause of our feelings and determine the best course of action. In the midst of anger, silence also protects your dignity. Responding in anger often leads to behavior that is inconsistent with who we truly are or who we want to be. We may say things we don't mean, lash out at people we care about, or behave in ways that contradict our values. Silence helps us avoid these pitfalls. By choosing not to react impulsively, we demonstrate a level of self-mastery that commands respect not just from others, but from ourselves. It shows that we are not controlled by our emotions, but are capable of controlling them. Another powerful aspect of silence in moments of anger is that it allows for de-escalation. Anger tends to feed on itself. When one person reacts angrily, it often triggers an angry response in return, creating a cycle of conflict. But silence can disrupt this cycle. It can calm the situation, giving others the chance to reflect on their own actions and emotions. In this way, silence is not just about managing your own anger, but about creating space for resolution and understanding. It is a way of saying, without words, that you are not willing to let anger dictate the outcome of the situation. Silence provides time for the mind to shift from emotional reasoning to logical reasoning. The initial surge of anger is often fueled by adrenaline and a fight or flight response, which can make it difficult to think clearly. But as time passes, the intensity of the emotion subsides, allowing for a more rational perspective. Silence gives you the gift of this time. It allows you to approach the situation with clarity, ensuring that your response is not only thoughtful, but also effective in achieving your desired outcome. Choosing silence in moments of anger is not easy. It requires intentionality, discipline, and a commitment to prioritize wisdom over impulse. It demands that we resist the urge to defend ourselves or assert our feelings in the moment, even when every fiber of our being wants to speak. But the rewards of this choice are profound. Silence protects relationships, preserves dignity, and positions us to respond in ways that align with our values and goals. It transforms a moment of potential destruction into an opportunity for growth and understanding. In mastering the discipline of silence, we not only avoid the pitfalls of anger, but also cultivate a strength that empowers us to handle life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Speaking without having all the facts is a risky and often damaging practice that can lead to misunderstanding, conflict, and regret. When we allow ourselves to react or respond prematurely, we step into a space of uncertainty, guided not by knowledge, but by assumptions. This behavior has consequences that can ripple far beyond the moment, affecting relationships, decisions, and reputations. Silence, in contrast, is a safeguard. It creates an essential pause, a moment to gather the facts and assess the situation fully before deciding how to proceed. In moments where we don't have all the facts, our natural tendency is often to fill the gaps with our own assumptions or interpretations. This inclination stems from a desire for control or clarity in uncertain situations. Yet, assumptions are rarely accurate, and when acted upon, they can cause significant harm. Imagine addressing a situation at work based on partial information, only to find out later that the missing details completely change the context. Such missteps can damage your credibility and erode trust. Silence, on the other hand, is a declaration that you value understanding over urgency. It signals a willingness to wait for clarity rather than risk unnecessary harm. When facts are incomplete, emotions often take the lead. We may feel frustrated, anxious, or even pressured to act, particularly if others are waiting for a response. However, emotions in these situations can be misleading. They may amplify the urgency of the moment, pushing us to speak or act before we are ready. Silence serves as a counterbalance to these emotions. By choosing silence, we give ourselves permission to take a step back, to separate what we feel from what we know, and to approach the situation with a calm and measured perspective. Silence is also an act of humility. It acknowledges that we don't have all the answers and that we may need time to seek them out. This humility is essential in building trust and respect. When you are willing to say, "I don't know yet," or to remain quiet until you do know, you demonstrate integrity and a commitment to truth. People are far more likely to respect someone who takes the time to get it right than someone who rushes to offer opinions or solutions without full understanding. In fact, the moments where we refrain from speaking can be just as impactful as the moments when we choose to speak. Silence conveys that you value accuracy and responsibility over appearing knowledgeable or decisive. Another key advantage of silence in moments of uncertainty is that it opens the door for discovery. When we are silent, we listen more intently, observe more carefully, and allow space for others to contribute their perspectives. This quiet observation often reveals details or insights that would have been missed if we had rushed to speak. By remaining silent, we create an environment where truth has the opportunity to surface. This is particularly important in group settings, where premature conclusions can stifle dialogue and close off alternative viewpoints. Silence keeps the discussion open, ensuring that all relevant facts and perspectives are considered. Silence in the face of incomplete information protects relationships. Misunderstandings often arise when we speak based on assumptions or partial truths. Accusations, criticisms, or even well-meaning advice can backfire when key details are missing. By choosing silence, we avoid saying something that might later need to be retracted or apologized for. We preserve the space for dialogue and mutual understanding rather than risking unnecessary conflict or confusion. Silence also reflects self-discipline and emotional maturity. It shows that you are not easily swayed by pressure or haste, but are instead committed to thoughtful and deliberate action. This quality is particularly valuable in leadership and decision-making roles, where the consequences of speaking without full knowledge can be far-reaching. By practicing silence, you set a standard for others to follow, demonstrating that restraint is a strength, not a weakness. Silence allows time for clarity to emerge. Often what seems urgent in the moment becomes less so as time passes and more information becomes available. Rushing to speak or act prematurely can lead to decisions that must later be revisited or revised. Silence provides the opportunity to wait until the situation is clearer, ensuring that your response is both informed and effective. It gives you the time to align your words and actions with the truth, rather than with fleeting emotions or assumptions. In doing so, silence becomes a tool not just for avoiding mistakes, but for building credibility and trust over time. Silence when someone else is speaking is a profound act of respect, demonstrating that their voice matters and that you are fully present to receive what they have to say. In a world where conversations often become competitions for attention, the ability to remain silent while someone else speaks is a rare and valuable skill. It shows not only consideration for others, but also a deep understanding of the dynamics of effective communication. Listening with silence allows a conversation to unfold naturally, creating a space where ideas can flow freely and understanding can deepen. When you remain silent while another person speaks, you create an atmosphere of safety and trust. People are more willing to open up when they feel genuinely heard. The act of listening in silence tells the speaker that their thoughts, feelings, and perspectives are valued. This validation encourages them to share more honestly, providing insights that might otherwise remain hidden. Silence in these moments is not passive, it is an active engagement that invites the speaker to fully express themselves, knowing that they have your undivided attention. Silence also allows you to focus on what is being said rather than preparing your response. Too often, people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. This habit leads to superficial conversations where the true meaning behind someone's words can be missed. When you choose silence, you give yourself the chance to absorb not just the words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. You become attuned to subtleties like tone, pace, and body language, which can reveal far more than the words alone. This deeper level of listening fosters empathy and strengthens the connection between you and the speaker. Another benefit of silence during conversations is that it prevents misunderstandings and unnecessary conflicts. When we interrupt or speak too soon, we risk reacting to incomplete thoughts or misinterpreting what the other person is trying to say. Silence allows the speaker to finish their thoughts, providing a clearer picture of their perspective. It ensures that your response, when it comes, is based on a complete understanding rather than assumptions or partial information. This clarity not only improves the quality of the conversation, but also reduces the likelihood of disagreement stemming from miscommunication. Remaining silent while someone else is speaking is also a sign of humility. It acknowledges that the other person's perspective is valuable and worth hearing. This humility is especially important in situations where opinions differ or emotions run high. In such moments, silence can be a powerful de-escalation tool. By choosing to listen rather than argue, you demonstrate that you are open to understanding the other person's point of view. This openness often leads to more productive and meaningful discussions, as it shifts the focus from winning the argument to finding common ground. Silence also creates opportunities for learning. Every conversation is an exchange of ideas, and by listening in silence, you position yourself to receive new knowledge or insights. Whether the speaker is sharing a personal experience, offering advice, or expressing an opinion, their words have the potential to expand your understanding. Even when you disagree with what is being said, listening in silence allows you to fully comprehend their reasoning, which can challenge and refine your own perspectives. In this way, silence becomes a tool for growth and self-improvement. Silence during conversations demonstrates self-discipline and emotional intelligence. It shows that you are not ruled by the impulse to dominate the conversation or assert your own views prematurely. This restraint allows the dialogue to remain balanced and respectful, creating a space where both parties feel valued. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel heard. And your willingness to listen in silence strengthens your relationships and enhances your ability to influence others positively. Silence can also encourage the speaker to reflect more deeply on what they are saying. When there is no immediate interruption or response, the speaker often feels compelled to elaborate or clarify their thoughts. This additional layer of communication can reveal insights that might not have emerged if the conversation had been rushed or interrupted. Silence, in this sense, acts as a mirror, allowing the speaker to see their own ideas more clearly and refine their message. Silence fosters patience and presence, qualities that are increasingly rare in a fast-paced world. By remaining silent while someone else is speaking, you slow down the pace of the interaction, creating a moment of genuine connection. This pause allows both you and the speaker to fully engage with the conversation, making it more meaningful and impactful. Through silence, you demonstrate that you value the relationship and the exchange of ideas, reinforcing the bonds of trust and mutual respect. Not every conflict, argument, or battle is meant for you to engage in, and the wisdom to recognize when to remain silent can save you from unnecessary strife and wasted energy. Life presents countless situations that call for discretion, and knowing when to step back is a hallmark of maturity and discernment. Silence in moments where the issue does not directly involve you is not an act of indifference, but a deliberate choice to protect your peace, preserve your focus, and maintain healthy boundaries. Engaging in battles that are not yours often leads to complications that you might not be prepared for. When you step into a conflict that does not concern you, you risk becoming entangled in emotions, perspectives, and dynamics that you may not fully understand. It is easy to misinterpret the situation, take sides prematurely, or escalate the tension without meaning to. By choosing silence, you avoid becoming unnecessarily involved in disputes that might not align with your values or serve your purpose. Silence allows you to remain an observer, maintaining clarity and objectivity while allowing others to handle their own challenges. Silence also preserves your energy for the battles that truly matter. Each of us has a limited amount of time and emotional capacity, and it is vital to invest these resources wisely. Engaging in every argument or debate that comes your way can leave you drained, distracted, and less effective in addressing the areas of your life that require your full attention. By choosing silence in situations that do not concern you, you protect your energy and focus, ensuring that you are fully equipped to handle the challenges and opportunities that align with your goals and responsibilities. Remaining silent when it's not your battle is also an act of humility. It acknowledges that not every issue requires your input or intervention. Sometimes the best thing you can do is allow others to navigate their own paths and learn their own lessons. Offering unsolicited advice or inserting yourself into a situation can come across as controlling or dismissive, even if your intentions are good. Silence, on the other hand, communicates respect for the autonomy of others. It shows that you trust them to handle their own affairs and that you are willing to support them only when they seek your input. In some cases, silence is necessary to avoid creating unnecessary enemies or conflicts. Taking sides in a dispute that does not involve you can alienate people or strain relationships that might otherwise have remained intact. Even when you feel strongly about an issue, voicing your opinion in someone else's battle can lead to misunderstandings or unintended consequences. Silence allows you to remain neutral, preserving your relationships and avoiding unnecessary complications. It demonstrates wisdom and restraint, qualities that often inspire respect from others. Silence can also be a way to de-escalate tension in situations where your involvement might only add fuel to the fire. In conflicts where emotions are running high, the presence of an additional voice or opinion can intensify the disagreement rather than resolve it. By choosing silence, you create space for the parties directly involved to work through their issues without additional pressure or interference. Your silence can serve as a calming presence, encouraging others to approach the situation with greater patience and understanding. Another important aspect of remaining silent in battles that are not yours is that it allows you to focus on your own growth and priorities. Life is full of opportunities to improve, learn, and make a meaningful impact, but engaging in unnecessary conflicts can divert your attention from these pursuits. Silence ensures that your time and energy are directed toward activities and goals that align with your purpose. It allows you to stay on course, unaffected by distractions or drama that do not serve your greater mission. Silence helps you maintain emotional balance and inner peace. Conflicts, even those that do not directly involve you, can be emotionally draining. When you choose to remain silent, you shield yourself from the stress and negativity that often accompany such situations. This decision is not about ignoring the challenges others face, but about recognizing that you cannot carry burdens that are not yours to bear. By protecting your emotional well-being, you position yourself to be a source of support and strength for others when it truly matters. Silence in moments where it's not your battle reflects wisdom and discernment. It shows that you understand the importance of picking your battles and that you are committed to using your voice and influence where they will have the greatest impact. It is a reminder that strength is not always found in action, but often in restraint. Silence in these moments is not a sign of passivity or apathy, but a deliberate choice to prioritize what truly matters. When you find yourself in the presence of greatness, whether it is through encountering a person of immense knowledge, wisdom, or skill, or being in a situation that offers profound insight, silence is the most appropriate response. Silence allows you to become a student, positioning yourself to fully absorb the lessons and opportunities that such moments provide. It is not a silence born of intimidation or inadequacy, but of respect and readiness to learn. In these instances, speaking too soon or too often can rob you of the opportunity to gain the very wisdom you seek. Silence in the presence of greatness is an acknowledgement that you do not have all the answers and that there is much to learn. This humility is essential for growth. Too often, people feel the need to assert themselves in conversations with those they admire or revere, attempting to prove their worth or intelligence. However, this tendency can create barriers to learning as it shifts the focus from gaining insight to seeking validation. Silence, on the other hand, reflects confidence in your ability to listen, observe, and internalize what is being shared without the need to prove yourself. In moments where greatness is evident, silence creates space for reflection. Whether you are listening to a wise mentor, attending a lecture, or witnessing an extraordinary display of talent, silence allows you to fully experience and process what you are observing. It ensures that you are not distracted by your own thoughts or the urge to respond, enabling you to be fully present in the moment. This presence is key to gaining the most from these experiences, as it allows you to notice details and nuances that might otherwise be overlooked. Silence also conveys respect. When you remain quiet in the presence of someone who is sharing their knowledge, skills, or experiences, you honor their contribution and show appreciation for their efforts. This respect fosters a positive dynamic, making the person more likely to share openly and authentically. People are more inclined to offer their best when they feel valued and heard. By being silent, you communicate that you recognize the significance of what is being shared and that you are willing to invest your time and attention fully. Another benefit of silence in the presence of greatness is that it helps you avoid premature judgments or assumptions. When you speak too quickly or form opinions without fully understanding the context, you risk missing the depth and complexity of what is being shared. Silence allows you to approach the moment with an open mind, ready to receive new perspectives without the filter of preconceived notions. This openness often leads to greater insights, as it encourages you to see beyond the surface and explore the deeper implications of what you are learning. Silence is also a tool for gathering wisdom that goes beyond the immediate moment. When you are quiet and attentive, you are better able to retain and reflect on the knowledge and experiences being presented to you. This retention is critical for applying what you learn to your own life. Greatness often reveals itself in subtle ways, and silence ensures that you are attuned to these subtleties, allowing you to carry their lessons forward and integrate them into your own journey. In the presence of greatness, silence demonstrates emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It shows that you understand the value of the moment and that you are willing to set aside your ego to fully engage with what is being offered. This willingness to listen and learn not only benefits you, but also enhances the dynamic between you and the individual or situation you are engaging with. Silence becomes a bridge, connecting you to the depth and richness of the experience. Silence also allows greatness to inspire you. When you refrain from speaking and instead focus on observing and listening, you create room for inspiration to take root. This inspiration can manifest in many forms: new ideas, renewed motivation, or a deeper sense of purpose. By being silent, you allow the greatness you are witnessing to resonate within you, sparking insights and aspirations that might not have emerged otherwise. Silence in these moments is an acknowledgement of the rarity and significance of encountering greatness. It is a recognition that such opportunities are not everyday occurrences, and that they deserve your full attention and respect. By choosing silence, you demonstrate gratitude for the moment and a commitment to making the most of it. You position yourself as a willing student, ready to learn and grow from the wisdom and experiences that are being shared with you.